All right, so let's go over this trade here real quick. I took a short on RB. I had to close it 2 hour. Normally we'll till this draw, but I passed my eval here. Um, so I also won't now have executions, but I do have a screenshot of it. Okay, so let's go over the trade recap here. Why am I bearish on oil, right? Speaking of, I should definitely have HO here. All right, so we engage with this low. We're seeing very relevant swing, right? You can see it's like that's the next relevant swing. What do we do? Retracement, and then this is kind of weird. It's because this day or bank holiday, so the week here is opening low first, so which is not ideal. But what are we not doing? Where if we're gonna do expand, it probably would have to be this day. Or yeah, I guess we fill the new week opening gap and then expand higher. Like if we're gonna reverse here because there is SMT, right? So as you can see, right, there's SMT there, like that. But I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, we already had like SMT. What are we doing in this asset? We are just expanding higher. Then we trade into this gap. Again, I'm gonna use 24-hour, as you can see here. We really don't close above it. It's just we gap up this week. Right, so 24-hour because this day gets incorporated as one on futures if it's a bank holiday with the next one, right? So, but it's 2 separate days for me. So as you can see, we don't really inverse this gap. So I'm assuming this is probably just a retracement. And look what we're leaving behind, equal lows, right? If I go on HO, or relieving as well, like very close proximity SMT, which again can be fine as long as we expand away, but we don't, right? So I'm assuming this right here is a retracement, and then we can expand lower. Now, if you look inside of this candle, it's not the best reversal ever. There's a reversal in Asia, and then we have deep retracements. So that you could say it's not very ideal, but that's fine. So what do we do? Expand lower during Asia, then London retraces, right? It's literally why I'm framing shorts here as well. So I can frame lower on these off of this key level, right? This new key level. And ideally you take a chobo. Yeah, I'll go over buyout to RB as well. The idea is like even CL, right? It's kind of like that's pretty in discount. What is this asset doing? It's sitting previous week's low, and it's just not reversing, right? Or you can say retracing. It's just retracing. Oh, there's no 2-stage Kraken one though. Or if there is, then we only get retracements. There's no gaps, nothing. So I'm assuming that we can break it, right? So we're just like retracing slash consulting in this low. This also should expand towards the same draw as well. And if you're gonna go higher, we probably do want to see this also remain in EQ, right? I mean, not really. Yeah, I'll run EQ. I want to see that reverse in EQ by this candle to expand, which we did not do. So why even am I bearish on these assets, right? Because technically, we're going lower with most of these, right? If you look at NQ, indices, right, in general, very large expansion overnight. So you'd be looking at this and like, okay, we're still bearish, right? But like, the problem is it's really just not drawing liquidity to continue lower. So it's very likely that around open or before open, these also have a retracement, right? See how this is an expansion candle, right? Asia and London both expand lower. I'm assuming New York is probably gonna at least retrace. Now again, there's really no framework for me to long that. I think there might be some. I think one stage, I believe, between I open. Like this is like equal lows top of SMT here, with RTY. I really don't care about that. It's like really not clean. I wasn't even looking at this, right? Because like look how largely we expand away from opening price. Even here, we're probably gonna have a very hard time for this asset for reversal candle. So I usually just don't trade these days, right? The only way you could trade this is if we do retrace, either in London or we have a deep retracement. Oh, well, not necessarily deep, but we have a retracement in New York EM, and then you can trade New York PM continuation probably most of the time. All right, so I'm assuming these are probably gonna retrace either at open or like around open or like right before open. So that's a line bullish, right? Very likely we go higher because there's really just no draw. Like past this low, there's no draw. So at least a retracement, right? So same thing here. This also unfortunately is living equal lows, so it's not the best thing in the world, right? So if I go to the daily, just for context, right? So what do we do? I'll use the 24-hour again because it's important, right? There's a daily gap here. So what do? We retrace into the gap and then we expand today, right? So we reach this objective, and even though the daily wick is very small again, we have a very large expansion. And here, London's a retracement. This is consolidation pretty much. As you can see, I mean, it can be considered a reversal, but overall, it's obviously a retracement away from this low, right? There's no S&P there, by the way, but there is PSP, was this right here, 2-stage. So I'm assuming that as well can probably cause, again, at least a retracement. Even just this PSP can probably cause at least a retracement into EQ, something like that, right? So I'm timing my short, or these assets are likely to retrace. I guess retrace higher or expand higher. I guess this is the least likely to do that, because it's very close to the objective overall. But I just wouldn't short here personally. It's just too low into the range, right? So that's the context right there. In intermarket relationships, and then there's also this, right? So if you notice here, this is not for our key level here, but it is on both of the other two assets, so I can use it as a key level. And there's also no tracking correlation with the gap, the 4-hour gap, which is right here, this one. All right, but we do have a relevant swing, which we engage with first right here. It's very important. So we engage with this relevant swing. Do we reverse? No, we don't, right? So usually what you want to see is if this key level is still to be considered valid, is this asset, which had SMT, which is the middle asset, needs to break it, break SMT, well, what the lagging asset holds it, right? Which is exactly what we get. I can probably just get rid of this. And then what do we do? If you look at these two assets, right, that's the 4-hour gap right there. If you look at these two assets, what do we get? Strong switch PSP, right? This asset takes the high, closes bearish. Asset doesn't, closes bullish, right? So it's literally perfect. And again, ideally you would trade this asset lower because it's closer to the objective and it's also the weaker, right? But I trade RB because I did not see the hourly PSP. I was looking at the 30-minute. So what do I see on the 30-minute? Where you still have the SMT with HO, and this 30-minute candles PSP, where this is the stronger asset and this is the middle asset. So I will trade middle asset because this is, to be fair, you would trade HO normally, but this is pretty expensive, right? This, as you can see, this is also PSP. This is too expensive for me to trade. So I just took middle asset, or what I thought was going to be middle asset. But technically, if you consider this hourly PSP, it's like lagging, really. Still, I would not trade a CL because it already has hit objective, right? So really nothing. I don't like shorting to load that. So this asset here though has a reason to go lower, right? Remember, we want to trade towards these equal lows right here, which you could probably hold towards, but you definitely partial load that, right? Relevant swing spaced out from these, right? Yeah. So, but like obviously HO has the better draw liquid. It's closer. Well, no, I don't know why it has this deep retracement. I'm not sure. As you can see, that closes PSP and then we take the high. But yeah, so let's go 50-minute. I'm just gonna show what happens after I enter. So what we do is we put SMT fill with this 50-minute gap right here. Where you see this high, right there, which I actually went break even earlier, but that's a new validation. It's like as soon as this reverses, right, it starts expanding away. Even this candle technically it's here, but this candle happens here, and it's PSP. Then we take the high. So it's not the best thing in the world. Very deep retracement. That's what I was talking about. You kind of don't want to see that. So I don't know why I did that. But this. So I guess I kind of got lucky with those transition in the distribution leg. See how this is the weaker asset, then fills the gap, right? As well as this. And then this is the lagging asset, but it doesn't fill the gap, so switches to weaker. Right, it's very nice. And yeah, I mean, that's the all context behind the trade. Again, normally you would take it to this low, definitely at least partial there. But I don't know if we can get there. Like, honestly, daily is pretty small. Like, we probably could. Oh, yeah, yeah. As long as we do fail to unbuild this low, which it looks like we are doing currently, we can definitely get to this. I can know something I will hold because I only needed 2 hours to pass this, account. So I just close it there. You know, I don't need more than that. So again, I don't have executions, but this is the lower time frame here. Let's get rid of this 4 hour. So that's the SMT there. And obviously that's PSP. And as you can see here, it's not the cleanest if you look at it here. So sometimes I do this. You can tell, so especially if I go 5-minute speed shaper, it is expanding away from it. But since I'm using 30-minute here, if you look at gasoline red, this is just a forex pair, as you can see here. We just have a 5-minute CSD, then a proportion block, there's a swing and a gap, right? So what I enter off of is exactly that. I enter. Arguably, you enter here because that's the hourly PSP close and the 30-minute close. So you enter market. I got to it kind of late, so I think I got filled somewhere around here. So again, probably fine. I guess playing of RR. Well, you gave up like, yeah, I mean quite a bit actually, but like if this was your objective, you probably wouldn't care. Which again, that technically was my objective, but I did TP earlier. So I got filled around here, I believe. I think in this candle, yeah. And again, I have my stop here. Why can I put it here at this proportion block? First of all, because there's a gap and there's a new validation. And if you go to hourly, right, as you can see, we do not want to see us come above EQ, and that's exactly where my stop is, right there. At that proportion block high, which is also a lower time for swing. Something that's kind of important, but yeah. So I TP'd here around, I went break even at this low, just like around 2R, really. As you can see right there, that's where I went break even, and my TP to pass the accounts like here, I believe. Around there, yeah, I think this candle filled it. So yeah, pretty simple trade. Obviously here, I would have held for this, or at least, you know, we could probably partial it to R when perhaps hold to this low overall. But that's it doesn't make sense to reverse unless one of these also hits this low. In this case, RB hits it first as well. So yeah, you can probably go past it a little bit as well. Yeah, like this potentially could play out. I don't know if it will. I'm doing this trade recap now because I really don't want to trade this. Yeah, it looks like we are reversing actually. I wouldn't trade this back into range. Like the only actually could, it's like this, but yeah, it's not the cleanest shit ever for me to trade, so I just skipped on that. Even this, you probably don't want short. Like the only way is like 6 hour SMT fill, probably shoot 12, you know. Again, you probably want to see a little bit of deeper retracement. You want to trade your PM continuation. So this right here is the only asset / framework that gave me possibility to trade, right? So I just trade this right here. Yeah, so these right here are the execution. I took a screenshot, right? Again, I cannot show you because I passed the count. So yeah, but I took a screenshot like that, right? Again, I mean, I'll enter around there. I don't know why I tracked that CSD. Technically, that's the first one, but yeah, because I guess that's the 5-minute, yeah. And then wherever this is the certificate passing. So that's gonna be all.